Hey guys, Toaster here. A little bit under the weather. I apologize about my voice, but I wanted to show you a game that I had on Live Oaks in my Type 64. I'm platooned with Combat Ineffective. That's actually my twin brother. I got him into World of Tanks about 6 months ago, and he just bought a Thunderbolt. So anyway, it's a tier 8 game, and Live Oaks is actually a pretty good map for scouts towards the end game. In the beginning, it can be good, it can be bad. It depends upon what the enemy scouts do. Of course, there's a T-92 on the enemy team, and a SPIC, so I've got to be careful of them. But let's get the replay started and we'll talk a little bit about it. So I like to generally, and I'm pinging the map because I like to generally go to like B4 in that little side town and get some lights, because a lot of times it'll at least tell the team where the enemy's going. And quite honestly, that's really your job in the early game. Your job is not generally to do damage or to get spotted at all if you can help it, but what you want to do is get some info for your team, and whether they use that or not, at least they've got it. So this spot here I learned from Dread Shells. He's a very good light tank driver. Showed me the spot. You can spot that whole ridge on like E23, and also you'll spot the heavies coming in a town. In fact, there's our first victim in IS2, and it's just very useful. So I know, okay, if you look at the view range circle, they're right on the edge of my view range circle, so I know for a fact that I'm pretty safe shooting here. So I'm just shooting at this KV2, and I happen to track him. So I'm pulling back between shots, because if a KV2 knows anything about where light tank's position, then he could blind fire me, and I'm a one shot. So his platoon mate actually comes up and guards him, which is a nice thing, except that the other KV2, his platoon mate, doesn't move. I don't know if he got retracked or what. That's what it looks like. But we're able to kill him, and we're able to do damage to the second KV2, which is super helpful. So that's two tanks that are out of the game, and it's going to help us win city very easily. Because if you look at the map and the lineup, there's just not that many heavy tanks. There's a Black Prince on the enemy team, and then those KV2s are probably, and that IS2 are probably the next best tanks. So now I see that this Black Prince is coming through, and I don't want to fire when the Black Prince is in my line of sight, because I will get lit. So I don't know if this guy's a bot or what, but just watching the way he's moving his turret, just sitting still, I don't know, it kind of indicates bot, but he does look right at me. Of course, I know I'm not lit. I'm in a push. I've got 30% camo on this tank, so I know I'm pretty safe. And then I'm able to get an extra shot. And I don't know what lit me there, but I'm able to get an extra shot on the heavy, and he's finished off. So now they've got one tank in town and one tank on the outskirts. So I know we're probably going to win city. But I noticed that my platoon mate has told me that they're pushing water side, which is usually the side that wins this map. So I'm just going over to get lights if I can, basically. And I'm kind of lining up a shot, and our IKV tracks this E25. Our IKV plays a big role in this game towards the end. But anyway, so I'm just getting free shots, and if you start noticing, my ammo is starting to get low already. That's one of the weaknesses of this tank. So I don't fire at the T-37 because I don't want to get lit, so I wait for him to get pushed up, and then I fire, and I fire one more blind shot because I'd like to take him out. But the Cromwell does not have the view range, and so, of course, I feel like I can fire without getting spotted, and he is just getting punished for popping out there. So, and this IKV is doing work. I mean, he is just hammering people. So we've got 4 tanks on near our cap, basically, and I'm just trying to get free shots. That's all I'm doing. So there's a Pershing here. He's gonna, I don't know what our LTTB thinks he's doing, but I realize I've got 11 shots left, and my platoon mate is asking me, why aren't you firing at the Pershing? Well, it's a low percentage shot. I mean, I have to hit lower plate at 500 meters, and I've got a guy sitting here that's putting shot after shot into him, so why fire low percentage shots when the game's close? There's no point to it, in my opinion. So I wait for this E2 to get behind bushes, but for some reason I still get spotted. I don't know why, but anyway, it could be someone. Actually, I do know why. There's a T-92 in the middle, but we don't know that. So my platoon mate is saying we should go tracks, and my first instinct is to go over to the knoll, but I decide, because the IKV has asked me to come with him, that I'll go with him. And you can see I've got 9 shots left, basically. I've got 2 HE, but really I should get rid of the HE. It's very ineffective, unless you've got a super lightly armored target, and you can fully aim, and you're fairly close. So as I'm pushing up, the IKV is saying, I'll follow you, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I don't know how good he is, I just know he's done a ton of damage. So I tell him that I've got 9 shots left, okay? And I'm just I'm riding high because I want to see if I can spot anything, and I get spotted. And I'm not exactly sure where from. I think maybe it's that bush in front of me, across the dip, straight in front of me, but nothing shoots at me, so I'm a little bit perplexed. So I'm coming up, and I get lit again. So that tells me that there's something in the middle. You know, that's the only place he could be that he would have hit me. So the IKV is saying he's spotted, and I tell him where he's being spotted from. So, and then I don't know why an Artie would sit right there, but he does. And I get 1 shot, and I pull back because the last thing I want to do, it's 10 to 10, is get shotgunned. So I get 1 more shot in, which is fine. I'm down to 6 shots, and the IKV finishes him off. So at this point, this IKV listened. I mean, it was great because he listened to what I was asking him to do. And so he goes down because I tell him I'm going to go spot this guy in the middle. Well, someone else does, which is just fantastic. That's great. So this T-92, I mean, we're just working him, you know. Of course, we're firing shots at him. Oh, and he drops down. You know, you can see it. I don't know why he went. So I did switch to HE and I fluffed my shot, and I figure, well, the IKV will probably kill him. So again, apologize for my voice, but that's it. That's basically, we won the game because we were able to put so much damage into the heavies coming into town, and then win the town, and then win the trackside, because the way they pushed was really poor. If you're going to push that, what you really need to do is stay low and then go outside. If you go on this outside area and have one guy spotting, you can actually get onto cap, or you can bring someone up underneath. And this position is really strong, as is this position, because you can spot people that are over here, and if you get up into here, you can spot people that are in the town. So they just didn't push exactly the right way, and of course that's good for me. So I get 1 shot. I know that the UDES is right there, and I get 1 shot on him, and I don't really want to take damage because I know we're going to win this as long as we don't do something stupid. So I fluff a shot. I was trying to go for my Fadens, and I was afraid this IKV was not going to kill this UDES, so I'm going to ram him because he's got no armor, I've got no armor, he's got no health, and it ends up being that I don't need to ram him. So I hit a couple of blind shots. The total damage was about 3,500 on this game, and then 2,200 spotting. That's a mastery badge in this thing. And this tank, a lot of good players play it, and it is very difficult to get mastery badges in it, which is why I've only got one mark of mastery on it, mark of excellence, because it is the requirements are insane. I played a game last night in it that I did 1,700 damage and a couple thousand spotting, and it was a second class. So I mean that's how tough it is to mark this tank. But it's a very good tank, and I really enjoyed playing this game, and maybe that will help people to find good light tank positions, because the last thing you want to do is sit in back and do nothing in a light tank. You need to spot, but spot where you're safe so that you can get info for your team, because to sit in back in a light tank is it's useless. So you're better off at least getting some info for your team, and whether or not they use that to win the game or not is up to them, but at least you've done your job. So anyway, I appreciate you watching. I hope you have a great day, and we will see you next time.